After 60, family won't be enough. You'll need these 5 lifelines to survive and thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to begin with a bold truth. Life is a tough teacher, especially as you grow older. By the time you turn 60, a quiet but undeniable realization may begin to surface. The support system you once believed would always be there may no longer be what you imagined. Your children now have lives of their own. Your parents, for many, are no longer around. Even close friends, those you once counted on, may have slowly drifted away, each caught in their own battles. So if you're relying solely on family to carry you through your later years, I must tell you that alone won't be enough. But here's the good news. This isn't the end of the road, it's the beginning of something more intentional. Because as the illusion of dependency fades, a deeper truth comes into focus. There are 5 essential pillars that you must build yourself. If nurtured early and maintained with purpose, they will become your most reliable anchors in the face of life's inevitable storms. These aren't abstract ideas. They are practical, powerful truths about what it means to age not just with grace but with strength, dignity, and clarity. 1. Health, your personal fortress and why it matters. Have you ever noticed that the things you used to bounce back from in your 30s, like staying up late, skipping meals, eating junk food, or skipping workouts, now leave you feeling wiped out for days, sore for no reason, or even hospitalized after something as small as missing a step on the stairs? This isn't random. It's the result of what your body has silently endured for years. From a physiological standpoint, we know that after age 50, your muscle mass declines by 1 to 2% per year without regular strength training, according to the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle. At the same time, bone density also drops, especially in postmenopausal women. Your reflexes slow down. Recovery from illness or injury takes longer. More importantly, according to the American Heart Association, over 80% of adults over 60 have at least one chronic condition like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, osteoarthritis, or osteoporosis. That means after 60, health isn't just about survival, it determines your independence, your quality of life, and even your dignity. I remember my patient George, age 68. He had worked his entire life as a senior executive at a financial firm. Always busy, eating on the go, rarely exercising. Within 6 months of retirement, he gained nearly 22 pounds, developed back pain, and couldn't sleep through the night. When he fell in the bathroom and fractured his pelvis, he came to see me and said something I'll never forget. "Doctor, I never imagined my body could be this weak." And he's not alone. If neglected, your body becomes the debtor of the lifestyle you've chosen. Every skipped breakfast, every sleepless night, every week without movement is another brick in the wall of deterioration. And eventually, your body will send you the bill. Some people believe, as long as I make it to old age, that's enough. But living in pain, fear, and dependency isn't truly living, it's just existing. The good news? The human body is astonishingly resilient if you give it the chance. A study from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that older adults who walk just 30 minutes a day and do strength training twice a week can reduce their risk of early death by up to 35%. Simple but powerful lifestyle shifts. Swap white bread and sausage for oatmeal, walnuts, and fruit at breakfast. Turn off the TV at 9 p.m. and take a gentle evening walk or stretch. Prioritize quality sleep, a cool, dark, quiet room and no screens an hour before bed. You don't need to become an athlete. But you do need to treat your body like a lifelong companion. Listen to it, care for it, and show up for it consistently. If you feel like it's too late, remember, better late than never. Science confirms that even at age 70, lifestyle changes can reverse key health markers, reduce medication dependence, and improve both physical and mental well-being. Because if your health is your fortress, the thing that keeps it standing against life's storms is financial safety. The second pillar we'll explore next. Caring for your body is essential. But to truly live well, you need one more thing: financial autonomy, so no one, not even old age, can take your freedom away. 2. Financial security, the foundation of freedom. Imagine this: you've just been diagnosed with a chronic condition that requires long-term treatment. It's unsettling news, but what's keeping you up at night isn't the illness itself. It's the medical bill. You find yourself torn between paying for your medication or covering the electric bill. That quiet, constant worry about money is one of the most common reasons why older adults fall into emotional distress or even chronic depression, even when their physical health is relatively stable. From a preventative medicine standpoint, chronic financial stress doesn't just mess with your sleep or raise your blood pressure. It also suppresses your immune system. According to the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, older adults facing financial hardship are up to 60% more likely to develop chronic illnesses like high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease than those with stable finances. Worse yet, financial anxiety often causes people to skip doctor's appointments, avoid getting prescribed medications, or decline essential treatments simply because they fear the cost. I once met Elaine, 67, who had retired early due to chronic joint pain. Her husband had passed away, leaving little behind, and her children lived far away with unstable incomes. At first, she was confident she could get by with frugal living. But over time, she began hesitating to see her doctor, even when she was in pain. She declined an MRI her physician strongly recommended. When I gently asked why, she whispered, "I'm afraid of the hospital bill." That silence is where illness starts to take root. Traditional pensions are disappearing. Healthcare costs keep climbing. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, even with Medicare, seniors in the U.S. still pay an average of $6,500 out of pocket per year, and that's not counting unexpected emergencies. Now add to that the fact that many people don't develop saving or investing habits early enough, and the idea of a comfortable retirement starts to feel like a fading dream. You don't have to be Jeff Bezos to age with peace of mind. But you do need a smart strategy. Downsize sooner rather than later. A smaller home means lower costs and less stress. Automate your savings. Even $200/month into a retirement fund or index account can make a significant difference over 10 years. Set healthy financial boundaries. Adult children should learn to stand on their own. Supporting them doesn't mean sacrificing your own stability. Learn basic investing. Compound interest is powerful, but only works if you start early, or at the very least, start now. I've sat beside patients with excellent insurance who were calm, focused, and recovered faster. And I've seen others forced to choose between insulin and rent. Recovery doesn't rely solely on medicine, it hinges heavily on financial autonomy. So think of financial security as a form of long-term health care, for both your mind and body. Financial freedom buys you peace of mind. But having a reason to wake up every morning is what gives your life meaning. That's why the next pillar, purpose, isn't just a psychological concept. It's the most powerful medicine that doesn't come in a prescription bottle. Let's explore it together next. 3. Purpose, the hidden fuel of longevity. Why having a reason to wake up after 60 might be the most powerful medicine of all. Have you ever asked yourself, if I didn't wake up tomorrow, what part of my life would truly matter? It may sound overly philosophical, but this is one of the most common reflections I hear from older adults, not because they are physically unwell, but because they feel purposeless. In the field of behavioral neuroscience, recent studies have shown that a sense of purpose isn't just an abstract idea, it's a biological factor that can be measured. A 2019 study from the University of Michigan found that older adults with a strong sense of purpose had 2.4 times lower risk of cognitive decline and were 52% less likely to die within the next 5 years, even after adjusting for pre-existing health conditions. Why? Because when you have purpose, your brain increases the production of dopamine and serotonin, the very neurotransmitters that regulate mood and reduce chronic inflammation throughout the body. People with a clear sense of meaning sleep better, have stronger immune systems, and are less likely to suffer from depression, Alzheimer's, or inflammatory conditions. I once worked with Mr. Lam, 71, a retired mechanical engineer. His children were grown, his wife had passed away, and although he was physically healthy, he was mentally checked out. I don't have a reason to get up in the morning anymore, he told me. After a long conversation, he admitted he'd always dreamed of writing a book about his years of mentoring young engineers, but he doubted anyone would read it. I encouraged him to write it anyway, not for others, but for himself. A year later, he self-published his first book on Amazon Kindle, sold over 500 copies, and was invited to speak at a technical conference at a local university. No one needed me to change the world, he told me, but I needed to prove to myself that I still mattered. For the first 30 to 40 years of our lives, purpose is usually defined by our roles: raising children, going to work, caring for aging parents. But as those roles begin to fade, a space opens up. If that space isn't filled with something meaningful, many older adults drift into apathy, resignation, or quiet depression. Psychologists call this the void of identity. Left unaddressed, it not only diminishes your quality of life, it may even accelerate cognitive decline. The good news? Purpose doesn't have to be some grand, life-altering mission. It just needs to matter to you. Start small. Join a local book club or community volunteer group. Learn a new skill: piano, painting, or meditation. Share your knowledge through a blog, teaching class, or mentoring younger people. Write a journal, a memoir, or start a podcast to tell your life story. Ask yourself, what makes me feel alert and excited to start the day? What values do I want to leave behind when I'm gone? Who could benefit from the life experiences I've already lived? If you've felt empty since retiring, consider it an opening, not an ending. You're no longer bound by meetings, deadlines, or raising small children. This might just be the moment to live in alignment with who you truly are. Oprah Winfrey once said, Everyone has a gift. Your job is to find it and share it with the world. To do that, however, you'll need one more essential ingredient: emotional resilience. Because having purpose is one thing, but holding on to it in the face of loss, illness, and change is another challenge entirely. Let's explore that next in Pillar 4, Mental Strength Resilience in Action. For resilience, mental flexibility is the new strength. The quiet power that separates survivors from those who give up. Have you ever met someone who, despite losing a loved one, facing chronic illness, or being buried under financial strain, still manages to smile, stay calm, and keep moving forward? And yet others, faced with something as simple as a fall or a missed phone call from their kids, spiral into despair or depression. What makes the difference? It's not their circumstances. It's their inner strength, what psychologists and neuroscientists call resilience. In behavioral psychology and neurobiology, resilience is no longer a fuzzy concept. With the help of functional MRI, fMRI, scans, researchers at Columbia University discovered that people with high emotional resilience have stronger activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic, planning, and decision-making. At the same time, they are better at regulating the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, especially when dealing with fear and stress. Here's the good news: these parts of the brain can be trained regardless of age. I once cared for Mr. Thang, 73, a retired postal worker. He lost his wife young, his children lived far away, and he lived alone. One day, he suffered a mild stroke and temporarily lost use of his left arm. But instead of giving up, he committed to physical therapy, taught himself to write with his right hand, and even enrolled in a meditation class at his local community center. He told me, "I chose to start again, not to lie there waiting to die." 6 months later, he was riding his bike to the market and teaching basic first aid to a wellness group at the community center. According to the National Institute on Aging, resilience is the ability to adapt and recover from adversity while maintaining a sense of peace and purpose. When you face loss, forgive yourself, and view your experience through a wider lens, your brain produces less cortisol, the stress hormone, inflammation decreases, your immune system improves, and your brain cells stay healthier longer. The flip side? Pessimism, isolation, and self-blame can increase brain inflammation, accelerate neurodegeneration, and raise the risk of dementia. Your mental toolbox for daily resilience. 1. Reassure yourself. Don't punish yourself. Instead of saying, "I was so stupid to do that," try saying, "Next time, I'll handle it differently." The way you speak to yourself is one of the most accurate predictors of how well you'll bounce back. 2. Zoom out from your situation. Elon Musk once lost nearly everything after SpaceX's early failure, but he said, "If you're ready to take a risk, you're ready to learn how to survive it." Don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What's my next move?" 3. Connect with people and the outside world. Join a language class, a book club, a dance group, or simply walk your dog and chat with a neighbor. Isolation kills spirit faster than any disease. You don't have to be the strong one all the time. But you do need to be like bamboo, flexible in a storm, yet rooted and resilient enough to outlast it. Resilience is not a trait you're born with. It's a skill. And skills can be practiced by anyone, at any age. Now it's time to build the next pillar, something that will ensure you never walk this journey alone. Not everyone needs to be in your life, but the right people, in the right relationships, will become your most powerful source of strength, far more potent than any medicine. Let's dive into Pillar 5, intentional relationships, and discover how to cultivate meaningful connections that truly nourish your life. 5. Intentional community, choosing your circle, not inheriting it. A selective circle after 60, the smartest emotional investment you'll ever make. Here's a simple but powerful question. If you got sick on a weekend, who would be the first person to show up, not out of obligation, but because they genuinely want to? Your answer says more about your quality of life after 60 than any blood test or blood pressure reading ever could. Modern science has confirmed that social connection isn't just an emotional need, it's a biological necessity. According to the landmark Harvard study of adult development, which has tracked participants for over 80 years, the greatest predictor of happiness and health at age 70 is not wealth or education, it's the quality of close relationships. Even more striking, a study published in PLOS Medicine and echoed by the CDC found that chronic loneliness increases the risk of early death as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The risk is especially high for older adults, as their natural social circles shrink due to retirement, relocation, or the loss of loved ones. I once met Robert and Elaine at a senior fitness class at the YMCA. He was 81, she was 78. Both widowed, with grown children living far away. At first, they just worked out together. Then they started grocery shopping together. Eventually, they co-hosted a weekly Thursday cooking class for seniors. Elaine once told me something I'll never forget. "He's not my husband, not my brother. He's the emotional anchor I never thought I'd find at this age." Many people assume their children will be their main source of support later in life. But the truth is, adult children are often busy with their own lives. The generation gap and physical distance continues to grow. Relying too much on family can lead to tension, disappointment, or unhealthy dependence. The community you choose, the one you actively build and nurture, is the support system that will actually hold you up. The solution: 3 types of connections worth investing in today. 1. Legacy friendships. These are the friends who've known you through life's ups and downs. You may not have many, but each one is worth their weight in gold. 2. Growth companions. New friends you meet through shared interests: painting, meditation, book clubs, dancing. These passion-based bonds often create deep emotional resonance. 3. Mentorship bonds. Younger people who come to learn from you, but in return, they offer you a sense of being valued, needed, and seen. As Oprah Winfrey once said, "You truly feel alive when you feel you're making a difference." You can't choose your parents or your children, but you can choose the people who walk with you through your later years. And the beautiful part? Connection has no age limit. You can build your community at any time as long as your heart is open. Friendship after 60 doesn't happen by accident. It takes intention, sincerity, and sometimes, the courage to walk away from toxic connections. And when you've built that solid circle around you, that's when you'll realize life after 60 isn't a closing chapter. It's a new one. One where health, financial security, purpose, resilience, and community come together to form a life of dignity, empowerment, and inspiration. You've built the 5 pillars. Now, it's time to bring them to life one mindful day at a time. So now you know, aging well isn't an accident. It's a construction project, one you build with 5 solid pillars. 1. Your health, the foundation that holds it all together. 2. Your finances, the freedom to live on your terms. 3. Your purpose, your inner compass that keeps you moving forward. 4. Your resilience, the mental muscle that bends but never breaks. 5. Your community, the people who lift you up when life gets heavy. You can't wait for someone else to build these for you, not your children, not your spouse, not your doctor. They are your responsibility, but also your power. Memo: so here's your action plan for the next 7 days. Move your body for just 20 minutes a day. Track your spending and set one financial goal for the month. Write down one thing you'd still love to do or teach. Call someone who inspires you or forgive someone who hurt you. And say yes to one new group, class, or community activity. Because the truth is, you don't need a new body, a new bank account, or a new family to change your life. You just need a new direction and the courage to take the first step. In the end, it's not what we relied on that shapes our lives. It's what we build for ourselves, brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. You've got the blueprint. Now go build your future with strength, purpose, and peace.